I've been thinking about doing this for a good long time, and now is a perfect time with the way things are going to put this idea into play. I'll explain what I'm talking about when you come on in. Grab some coffee and let's get started. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Bill Bateman, part of the team here at Refuse to be a Victim Personal Protection Training. We are located in the Medford White City area of Southern Oregon at 6800 Kershaw Boulevard. That's where Kershaw and Corey come together in that rather significant sharp turn. So we hope to see you coming in slowly. 20 miles an hour is about your top speed on that curve. It really is. And what I've been thinking of for a long time, I took 6 weeks and I did a course at SOU through OLLI, OLLI, the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute, and it was Survival Beyond the Bug Out Bag. And I basically am teaching people who are new, but they're new today. It's not like some of you who have been with me for the 10 years we've been doing this program. And this is good information for new people. This is updated things I'm talking about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, things like that. So the idea is this is the audio from the course I was teaching. There may be some cutouts. There may be you'll hear a voice of somebody asking a question. We've tried to make it so the voices are unidentifiable. I've done quite a bit of editing on these. But the information is new. And with things changing, more and more people are getting involved in prepping, getting ready for emergency situations, and I think that's a good idea. So by doing that, by getting ready to prep, you're not going to be a victim, you're going to be able to be self-sufficient. So what we're going to do is join the class in progress. You'll hear some mumbling, and then we'll just begin. You'll catch me in mid-sentence. And these run for about 30 minutes. I'll be cutting these in for about the next 3 weeks, where you'll have an opportunity to get the latest information, refresh some of the information in your memory banks, or if you're a new listener, you have come at an excellent time, and I think you will get a lot of good information. So we'll kind of make a few technical switches and we'll fire this thing up. Let's get rolling. That's what this is. This is like a little tiny metal. I'll, sure. These will be up here at the break if you want to come see them. And what this is for a larger can, like a coffee can size. And you use this and you basically roll around the can. It takes 50, I think they call this a model 54 because it takes 54 punches. The 36, which is smaller, which is for a soup can, takes 36 punches. So there's that. These are great. I put a piece of tape on this because this little sharp edge is by design a sharp cutting edge. And if it's at the bottom of your bag or the bottom of your pocket, it can make for a nasty surprise. So it is, however, with a piece of tape on it, something I have in my pocket most of the time. Maybe a special on canned ravioli somewhere, and I need to do that. I'd have two of those. Two is one is none. It's going to drop to the bottom of my bag. It's going to disappear into a corner of my backpack. It's going to fall on the floor of the car. Now I have no can opener. I've got my buck knife, and I'm trying to claw my way into the coffee. So a couple of things are good, especially something that's very important now. The old wisdom, as I said, have enough for 3 days. They still put it on some websites, and it bothers me. Bothers me terribly. 10 years ago, 3 days is what you needed. Have a backpack, have your information for after, and have food, water, supplies, toothbrush, toilet paper, change of clothes, that type of thing. Now it's a month, minimum 30 days, and we talked about that. Don't get the idea that you're going to be sleeping in the woods in a Coleman like we had in the picture last week. You're going to be in a shelter with 1,000 of your closest friends good morning, or you will be in a motel, or you might be sleeping in your car somewhere in someone's driveway. But things will change. Now, bug out bags, there are all kinds of them. And I'm going to give you a little story on this. How I got into this overall, I may have touched on this last week, so I'll give you the annotated version. We have, going back to the time of the Northridge earthquake, okay, way back in the day before the flood, we had a lot of earth stop, drop, and roll real big in California. We're going to have an earthquake. We have to be ready. So I went to Costco and I was taken in. I had a wife and a small child, and we were worried about what's going to happen. Uh, Basically, I took the plunge and spent $280 on a go bag, pre-made. It was from Costco. What could go wrong? Well, it looked like, if you've ever seen one, a parachute. Parachutes are tightly packed. They're big. They almost look like they're ready to burst out at the last. And this item was full of stuff. Now, the problem is it was full of stuff. Earthquake happens, run around, run around. Talk the guy out of checking for gas leaks with a lighter. That was an interesting conversation. And a guy had gotten cut. One of my neighbors, glass broke. He had a fairly substantial cut on his arm. Mr. Bug Out Bag to the rescue. I'm ready. Here we go. I can help you, sir. I unzipped this thing, which promptly exploded all over my living room. I found for my first aid, I had close to 1,000 little tiny Band-Aids. They weren't even Zeri strips, those things you use when you get stitches to hold you. These were those little tiny cosmetic Band-Aids, and I had some little Q-tips and some cotton balls. I could have taken off my wife's makeup very nicely, but as far as stopping serious bleeding, and most of the stuff in there was cheap, poorly made, didn't work, or did not work as expected. So that was my catalyst. Says, Not only could I not help this person who got help from the guy next door, but I looked like a fool in front of my wife, in front of my son, and I didn't care for that. And it's not so much the ego, it's the fact I could not be effective. And that to me is what's important, being effective. I don't care. Hey, make fun of me if you want to, but I wanted to make sure I could help my family. I had bought poorly and I could not do it. So there's a thing here, ReadyGov, and here's a common problem. Oops, we can't find this page. A lot of government websites, because of the current problems, are having this problem. Oops, can't find it. 405. We'll come back and we'll give you a good link for that. But know that you will find, despite our best efforts, I went through prior to class and checked every link in the class, and somebody reported, well, I can't get a link. Yeah. Also, the Atlantic article has been moved behind a paywall. So there's that. These are things I can't control, but these are things part of critical thinking. How else might you find that information? Okay. We're going to look at all kinds of bags. The shelter-in-place or stay-home bag is your best of all possible worlds if it's realistic. In a fire, not so much. But if you can stay home, great. Second point, your get-home bag. You're someplace else, you gotta get home. You're at work. I'm at SOU right now. I have to get home if there's a problem. Can I do that? What do I need in my condition, which is going to be different than your condition, to get from here to where your house is? A road bag, and this is very simple. If you've ever taken a vacation, my former and I used to cram a 1,500 square foot home into a minivan and take our trips. And it was interesting. Now we'll talk a little bit more about what you need if you're on the road and what happens, and should in fact the car break down. or the road break down or be closed or impassable because of an earthquake or a landslide. Survival in your car on the road.
Are you ready?
And listen.
So during times of high fire danger and all that, should one have most of this stuff put into your back of your car? If you have to leave quickly, like your sleeping bag and some food and all that stuff?
Well, I have, and this is exactly what we're talking about right now.
Okay.
We have sheltering at home is the best plan. And you should have your supplies in your home. We stage, which means if fire alert, fire watch goes off and says level 2, we start putting things by the front door. And that's the thumb drives with the backpacks. We start looking at food out of the refrigerator and shifting things around in case the power goes out. I have things in the car also. This is not a one and done solution, as I said. You will all find as you begin getting into this on a greater and greater scale. I have just brought in my first aid kit from the car to show you. I have blankets. I'm going to show you this in just a second. I have things in the car that when you take things from the house, you add to them. Think Legos. These are big, giant Legos. Kids' toys. You get the real tiny ones and step on them in your bare feet about 3 in the morning and burst incredible strings of profanity and wake up the baby and get in trouble for it. It's, so the thing from the house joins the thing in the car, and now you have more supplies that extend your range. That is the basic idea of what we're doing. If you have kids, grandkids in your case, but for some of the watchers, you may have younger children, kids at school, if you're on vacation. Some of you are riding Splash Mountain. Some of you are going on It's a Small World or going through the detox, trying to get that stupid song out of your head. If you're at work, when I worked here at SOU, I was stationed in the library and we had a storage area allocated to us, and I filled it up with some canned food and a change of clothes and other things. So regardless of where I was, and this is the point, this is the Lego idea, regardless of where you are, you're going to have an item here, an item there, and each of these items is going to complement the others. So now you have more food, you have more water, you have different first aid. You're going to need different things on the road than you're going to need around home, than you're going to need around the campsite. So that's the basic idea. Now I found, and drives me crazy, I don't think it made it into the bag. I got lots of stuff for today. It's here. For years, you've been buying first aid kits with Mylar blankets in them. I've never found one useful. First of all, they're the size of a bath towel. Looking at that, trying to keep me warm is hysterical. It's like getting under a piece of cardboard and trying to wrap it around you. These are Don't Die in the Woods blankets. You can see the size. They're very light. Don't Die in the Woods. Yeah, those didn't sell as well as they hoped it would. Yeah, the Jim Jones series. Yeah, drink this Kool-Aid and go out in the bushes.
What's the name of that blanket, please?
Don't Die in the Woods.
Oh, that is the name. Okay.
Same idea.
Same idea.
This is the same idea. This is a blanket. They also make a sleeping bag. They also make a tent, which if you happen to have 10 or 15 feet of paracord, gee, Bill, where would I get that? This is I wear this all the time. This is a paracord, 600 strand. It's a survivalist. This is how we identify ourselves to each other. We don't have a secret handshake. But if you see somebody wearing one of these, it's either they're into macrame or they have a scout troop or they have a survival interest. There's a knot up at the top The camera will undoubtedly not pick it up. There's a knot up here. You unravel this, and you've got, I think this is a 10-foot, 8 to 10 feet of 600 strand paracord. You add that to a lanyard, to the holes in your tarp, or you attach it to your blanket and you've got a tent. Or you hold up the tent and you put this over you. This, and I will take it out and I will give this to someone. You may have this for free as my gift. Don't all shout out at once. But the trick is you've got to get it back in the package. I've seen it done once. My sister is very good with these things, and she got one back in the package. As I put out in my email, I do need a co-pilot here. I really do. You're supposed to have two people to do a hybrid class, and there's just myself. So thank you. Please shout it out if you get lost. Okay, one side is reflective, the other side, and they come in different colors. I prefer the camouflage because now you can't see me. I'm gone. What is different about these? First, they're noisy, but they're flexible. Second, I'm not going to pull this all the way apart because nobody takes it. I got to get it back in the silly package. It's 7 feet long by 5 feet wide. I can wrap up in this thing like a burrito, which is the whole idea. You put yourself next to the shiny side, it reflects your body heat. So the idea is this becomes like a food warmer. You wrap up. I went out, last time it snowed here, I went out, sat in a chair on the patio, and what I'm wearing, similar to it, I went outside, put the thing in the chair, pulled it around me, pulled it up over my head, got as comfortable as I could. It was 28 degrees, and I sat there for 2.5 hours till my wife finally said, I think you've proved the point. Get in here, you fool. This is not going to keep you roasty toasty, but I was comfortable. It traps the heat, it reflects it. It is not going to give you a quiet night of rest. It's going to rustle and crinkle and stuff like that. But unlike, it is bigger, it is more flexible, and it is durable. I used one for a season and a half. I'd put it near a fire. When we built a fire outside, we'd put it behind the fire and it would reflect the heat towards you. There are a lot of things you can do just with a simple item like this. You get 4 in a package, and there's a link as we move farther on down. And they're great. They have a good product line. They have good quality control, and the links are on the site. On the same topic, I mentioned fire. It used to be, and you still do. You still need, especially if you're on the way to Diamond Lake and get stuck, you should be able to build a fire. Not everybody can do that anymore. Used to be you had to have 3 ways to start a fire. Nowadays, with the climate and the dryness, you have to have 3 ways to put one out. You'd still need to be able to build a fire. I have a bunch of Bic lighters. I'm not Daniel Boone. I'm not a Boy Scout leader. I do know how to take a flint, and I have fire starters, and it makes sparks, and through the shower of sparks, I can do that. If under today's conditions, I would be incredibly careful building a fire. If it's just 5-foot circle, make a 10-foot circle. Building fire rings is not always the best way to go. Having fire out in the wilderness is very important because you're going to need to heat water. You're going to need to have light. You're going to need to have physical heat for yourself, scare away small woodland creatures or large woodland creatures. So know how to build a fire safely. And if there's enough interest, I'll talk more about it. Snow comes in, you're stuck there. What do you have with you? Yes, if you brought your Coleman stove and a canister of gas, that's good. If you've got one of the smaller little canister, and we'll look at some of those as we get down the road. This is a case of trying to be as highly realistic. This is worst case. Like if you had to get up and run out of here right now, you got time to grab your bag. What do you got with you? What do you got in your car?
That's what we're talking about. This is not a staged, we're going up to the lake next week, let's get the car packed. Well, you can put an extra blanket and a cot and a portable solar battery in there if you want to. But this is dealing with the realism of what you've got right now. In the car, okay, the car bag are supplies you're going to need to get you home. It's also good if you're stuck in the car. And so a lot of people say, well, if I get in the car breaks down, I'm going to go hike for help. Could be a good idea. It's generally a good idea. A car is a solid structure, and unless it is unsafe, unless you are unsafe, you're going to want to actually stay with the car. First of all, emergency responder going by is going to see a disabled vehicle. Putting a handkerchief is still a good thing on the antenna of the car. I don't think all cars have those anymore. So there are things you can put in the rear window. There are little electronic things you can put in the back that'll actually strobe. On the subject of light, we're going there in a minute. This is a light stick. These come in colors. This is white. You take it out of the package, which is the biggest challenge ever. You have to have an edged instrument. You have to have a knife or a pair of nail clippers or good teeth. You break it and you have white light, 8 to 12 hours. This is bright. This is a light stick. They call it a safety light stick here, non-toxic, non-flammable, weatherproof, slices, dices, and makes julienne fries. 99 cents, you can't beat it. I get them online. I prefer, and a quick side trip, I prefer to shop locally. Go to True Value, Ashland Hardware, camping stores, REI, Army, Navy, Marine stores. I love that place. It's just great. Army, Navy, Marine store. It's out by the Sheriff's Department on Highway 62 and Vilas Road. It's on the other side of the street. Good products, helpful people. What the heck is this? Oh, yeah. And they'll help good fire starters, good clothing. We'll talk more on that. Yeah, well, I got sidetracked here. Water. Stay in the car if you can. It's got a lock. It's got windows. Yes, a bear can get into a car, so that's why you don't want the food exposed in the car. It's interesting. People are always afraid of bears when they go out. I've read the statistics, and snakes and spiders appear to be the biggest problem when you get off the beaten path. Not so much in downtown Ashland, although we're going to hear a story about downtown Ashland in a minute that I find fascinating. What should you have in your car? You should have water. You should have food, snack bars, and maybe I have a bag of the dehydrated food that you add hot water to, and now you have chili. Oh, it's very good. And what I think is more important than having the food, and this has actually happened, you need something to eat it with. It can be as simple as a spoon, a big spoon from the house. These are great. This is a felony in the state of New York. You can get arrested and sent to prison in the state of New York because it's got a knife. It's a concealed weapon. He's got a knife. If you're out in the hinterlands and you've got your bag of food, it's really good to have your utensil to stir it up, to help rehydrate it, and to eat it. And if you have something that you're going to cut, this is handy. I got 5 of these. They came in a 5-pack. One of the survival links I'll share with you, Prepper. Yeah. Although, again, you can get these locally, had I known. That's why I'm pushing the local. What I do is I shop online. I look online. I search online. And I'm reading. Amazon's good in that they got the reviews up at the top. They got 5 stars, 2 stars, 3 stars. And I read what's written. Half of them are whining. It should come in tow. Oh, kill me now. It's not blue. If it was blue, it'd be a great product. And the other half is, this product failed after 3 days. Whoops. I called customer support. They didn't speak English and hung up on me. Okay, now we have a basis for choosing a problem. And a product problem is something, if you can avoid it in the beginning, that's the way to do it. So we talked about lights. blankets, tarps, things you should have in the car. Don't advertise this. Yes, ma'am.
May I add one more thing? Maps and the ability to read a map.
You're on my, yes, you're on my page. It's on, we're coming up to that if I haven't said it yet. I said that last week. The number of people who don't know how to open and fold a map and where north is. Yeah, and this is something our generation knew. When I was in 1955, Grandpa took me hiking in the woods, and we dealt with compass, we dealt with poison oak, we dealt with map reading, we dealt with blisters, we dealt with all that stuff. And today's generation doesn't know any of that. And there are places you can learn. There are courses you can take. And yes, you should have a map. And do not expect your Google map to work. It ain't gonna happen. On the phone, yeah. I got in downtown Chicago. Downtown Chicago. Down by the building you see in the Blues Brothers with the goofy architecture. Down there, Wacker Drive. There I am, running. I got my, when you can still hold your phone without it being a class 1 felony. I'm trying to get a signal. All the tall buildings, I might as well have had a brick. Cash in your car, good idea. I found in some of the profiteering and price gouging, gas $20 a gallon, no credit cards. They don't want proof that they did. They always forget. If you can. And you don't tell anybody. Yeah, I always keep $300 in small bills in my car. Oh, the neighborhood kids are going to let, you're going to be very popular. There and at the glass shop getting your windows replaced. Also things, meds in your car. Now, for some of you, that's not an issue. I take 17 a day. Yeah, fun with post-surgery. So I got certain meds I have to take. Some I can skip, obviously. If I don't get my baby aspirin, I'm not going to fall over. But some of the stuff I got to have. Some people who are on like insulin, it's really important that they take their medication, and insulin needs to be chilled. So there's, if you have to have a medication, your inhaler. Every mystery story, oh, Brittany needs her inhaler. And yes, she does. And if you don't have an extra one with you, EpiPens. Don't want to fool around and not have an extra one. And I know these stupid things are like $900, and that's a whole nother discussion, but I have been able to browbeat my physician into getting me enough medicine. I have a 90-day supply. I get online pharmacy. I get 90 days. I talked to them. I said, look, this, that, and the other. Yeah, I'm a local doctor. I was here for the fire. I understand. Talk to your healthcare provider about getting backup medicine. In addition, comfortable shoes and extra clothes should be in your car. This is, first of all, if you fall in a creek and need to change. Creeks are like creeks, except they're in the Midwest. You fall in the creek. If you're, like, I have changed my attire tremendously. When we were on full screen, you saw I don't have a coat and tie on. I'm wearing, and when I come back off of this, I'll show you the shirt again. I wear cargo pants. Guy in a restaurant in San Francisco made a big thing out of it. You have cargo pants on, sir? Yes, I do. Aren't they nice? Well, this is a 4-star restaurant. I said, well, there'll be a lot of things I can put in my pocket to take home then, won't there? It's a good thing I have extra pockets in my cargo pants. It didn't end well. I have found when you are out on the road, when you're prepping, this shirt I'm wearing has the pockets you see, and then it has extra pockets under the pockets. The idea is when I'm traveling, I zip the pockets, and my wallet doesn't take a walk with that cute little kid who came up and tried to sell you something. So
Where did you get that shirt?
I got that at Proper, Propper, Proper clothes. Again, these links are going to be popping up. I want you to be aware of them, so when you see them, you'll go, oh. Also extra shoes, extra socks. If your job requires you to wear a coat and tie, or ladies, if you have to wear heels, or a skirt. Some workplaces still require a more dress attire. Good pair of jeans and a pair of sneakers or hiking boots. Even if you got to walk home. If I have to go, I live in Phoenix. I got to walk to Phoenix this morning for some strange reason. I got on good shoes, and I'm good with that. I also got an extra coat, and I also have water, all that type of stuff. Can you walk that distance? Now, it is, I would say, 10 miles from this spot right here to where I live. Can I physically walk 10 miles? Yes, I can. Won't be pretty, but I can do it. Would it be safe? Well, if I'm on the freeway or if I'm on surface streets, we don't know what's going to be safe then after an earthquake and a fire or whatever. Is it safe? Is it walkable? And when was the last time you tried? I know I can walk this far because I have periodically tested myself. When was the last time you actually throw on a light backpack? Don't fill it with 40 pounds of stuff. You'll kill yourself. Put on a backpack with some stuff in it, walk around the neighborhood, see how far you get. Neighbors will talk about you for days. It'll be fun. Okay.
And this is a good place to stop for this week. We'll come back and we'll have some more updated information for both the new listener and kind of memory floggers for you veterans. We began this episode with the John Wayne can opener, as they call them, or the P54, P36 hand can opener. And we went through some basic ideas with a few updated bits of information. That's all for this week. We hope to see you at the range. We hope you're going to come by and take a class, and we're going to have more information as things continue to develop right here in our very own community. So I look forward to seeing you next week. I look forward to seeing you out there for a class. I look forward to bumping into you at the Army-Navy store. Hey, wherever we meet, it's always good to run across friends. You be safe out there, and we'll see you next time. The preceding program was a presentation of Retired Guy Productions.